Gary, if you could please take roll.
I will. Joe Cox.
Present.
Jacob Everett. Jacob?
Present. Say present.
Present.
Eric Hayden. Dennis Johnson.
Present.
Emily Pearson.
Present.
We have quorum with 4 members present. Moving along to the approval of agenda. Has everybody had an opportunity to look over the agenda? Are there any additions or revisions? Anything we need to add? I'm going to add fire under miscellaneous. No other additions or revisions. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Emily Pearson.
Second, Dennis Johnson.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We have an agenda. Moving along, has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from the exec session dated December 2nd and the town council meeting minutes dated December 2nd? Any questions, revisions to those? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve each of those two set minutes from each of those 2 meetings.
So moved, Dennis Johnson.
Second. Emily Pearson.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to the approval of the claims. Rhonda, to answer your question, I like that document you sent
Okay,
out in that
good enough.
format. If you don't mind,
Not
keep
at all.
sending it.
I
Okay.
just thought it was repetitive.
It is, but
Okay,
we got to
good
keep some
I like it.
aspect of Chris Lutz in this one. Yeah.
Oh.
Any questions on the claims? It was pretty straightforward this month. And we had no pay application from Reynolds this time, correct? Okay. So if there are no questions on the claims, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims dated 12/16/25.
So moved, Dennis Johnson.
Second. Everett.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving along to the Barnes and Thornburg TIF presentation.
He's not
I
here.
was gonna say, I didn't see Barnes out there.
Well, son of a gun.
Well, we'll just hold off on that one.
Let's table that, or
Yeah.
I'll remove that from the agenda.
Make sure we don't get billed for this.
He said it was included. That's probably why he didn't come. He didn't.
Council committee reports, I have no update on EDC. Mr. Freeman, where are you back?
Good evening, council. Nothing new from the stormwater board itself, but otherwise, FYI, all the snow that we've had, it's kind of blocked a lot of the storm sewer drains. So if we can get that out on the website, just, I know it's supposed to rain tonight or start raining tomorrow, but we'll probably have some flooding maybe if those drains are clogged. I noticed a lot of them still had leaves, so we got leaves, snow on top of them. So that's the only problem that we may have, but it may go smoothly and flow right out of the lake.
Okay, Rhonda, could you have somebody put a post out just asking them to clear debris from any drains near their
Some
homes?
may think it's a city job, but I think we're all in it together.
Sure.
If it takes 2 seconds, just pull it off.
Yep.
Sure will.
All right, thank you. Moving right along, legal counsel report, Mr. Culp.
The only thing I had was the appointment for the 3 board members.
Yep.
CDC.
So how do we need to structure this?
One of them is a presidential appointment, the other 2 are by the council as a whole.
So we need to have a motion for 2, and then do I need to make a motion to appoint?
No,
Okay, I can just appoint.
yes,
So I can move forward with my appointment?
yes.
Okay, my appointment to the CDC board is Mr. Dan Strong.
Aaron, Mr. Culp, we approved at the last meeting the articles and the bylaws, right?
That's correct.
So I just need a motion for the other 2. The 2 that have volunteered to do so are Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Everett. So I guess it'll be me and you then, Emily, without Eric here. So I guess, well, I don't want to be the one to make the motion.
I will make the motion.
As for Dan Strong, I'll make the motion.
He's already
No, he's
appointed.
okay.
That's a presidential.
Okay.
So now you
I will make the motion for the other 2
okay,
members to be approved.
Mr. Johnson and Mr. Everett to be
Yes.
appointed to the CDC board. I will second that. That's the first second I've done in a year.
Suppose we can vote on ourselves, right?
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have a board. And just for the people in the audience, I don't know if you remember that we did the CDC bylaws. This is for the NRG property that we acquired over by the library. So this board will essentially, I don't want to say regulate, oversee any of the environmental aspects of anything that would occur over there. So. All right, moving right along to the Cicero Jackson Township Plan Commission report, Mr. Zawadzki.
Good evening, council. I have nothing to update.
All right. Mr. Strong, you have anything under plan?
No, sir, thank you.
All right, moving along to the town engineer report.
Good evening, everybody. Under the wastewater, Reynolds continues work. They working on the control building, the oxidation ditch, rehab. They've got the blowers started up and the digester aeration installed, so the digester's online now. We've wasted sludge to it, so everything's working there. They're pouring some sludge bed walls as well as slabs and just moving forward as best they can with the weather. Of course, they'll be working only, well, I think they're scheduled to work 3 days a week for the next 2 weeks, but they also said they'll have people burning vacation, so I think it'll be a pretty skeleton crew as in most places. So.
Sure.
As far as West Jackson Street, you know, again, with the weather, they do have, they tell me today, they have the light fixtures and the globes ordered. They haven't got a delivery schedule for those for the replacements. They also have ADA parking signs ordered that were, every place we have an ADA parking space, they're gonna put up one of the little signs. They've got, they still have to remove the pole out here, and they've got just a couple, two parking stripes missing, I think, east of the railroad that we've got to get put in, but it's thermoplastic, and you can only do that if it's 45, 50 degrees, so. Again, if
And
they
not
get,
raining, I assume?
yeah,
Yeah.
so they might get lucky and get a break and get a warm day, and they said if they do, they'll get it done, because it'll take them 10 minutes, it
Right.
won't take very long. If not, it may be early in the year. The only other thing on that project, I had emailed up their proposal for the pipe bollards.
You need to know if we're gonna do it or if they're gonna do it?
Yeah, they'd like to order it if they're going to do it, because when they come up and do everything, they're going to try to knock it all out.
I thought we had decided we were gonna try to use Mr. Hunter's crews for that. Is that not the case? I could be completely wrong.
I believe that was just for the fence section.
Gotcha, okay.
That's right. So, I mean, I think their price is reasonable. There's a lot of labor. It's mostly labor and equipment. I mean, material, I think, is about $2,000, and the remainder is material or labor and equipment.
And that is not grant eligible?
Well, I do believe that we can get paid for 75% of it with the grant.
Okay.
So you could probably get it done cheaper, but it's gonna cost town $2,000. You're not gonna get it done for $2,000.
Correct. So, all right.
What is this for?
The pole,
The pipe bollards.
For here?
The electrical panel, and then there's two down on the Washington Street, the hydrant, the fire hydrant down there.
it's gonna cost us a whole lot more if something
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
damaged, so.
I don't have a problem letting the vendor do
I'm
it.
fine with that too. Dennis?
I'm good.
Emily?
good.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion do we need a motion for this or just consensus?
It's a Aaron, anything?
I would go ahead since we are spending money to do that.
Okay, so if somebody can make a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let's get it done.
So you'll try to get that, most of that paid back through the
Yeah,
grant?
75% of it, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
We've got some other items that are underruns that we should be able to utilize that for, so. The 2025 Community Crossing Matching CCMG. That's the one, Morris Landing Drive, and then Flanagan and Catherine out the east side. So that is completely done. They've done the punch list, so we're just trying to assemble a final change order, which will wind up being a deduct coincidentally, with quantity adjustments and any of the paperwork. And then when we get that done, we can go ahead and close it out with the NDOT. So we'll pull that together. Working on that, the Morris Landing Drive project, that was scheduled to bid in January 28th. I think you sent the advertisement to the paper today, but I don't know if you checked your email, but
I did, and then got an email that saw.
Ted.
Is there, change the date or not, so.
yeah, we'll need to figure that out. So the date made, Ted Lenz sent an email saying he couldn't be there and asked to move it to the 26th, so we'll just have to check emails and see if we can change the date before we get it in the newspaper.
I'll email them tomorrow and ask them to not.
To hold for a minute?
Hold the bus.
Okay. But it's gonna bid in late January. We're gonna advertise it in the next couple of weeks, so we just gotta reaffirm the date. And then it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to, maybe we could add this moving forward to East Jackson Street CCMG. That's the one that we started on at the last meeting, but we're starting over pulling bid documents together for that. The goal would be to advertise in January, probably receive bids the first meeting in February. So we can beat that March 1st deadline they got, so we are working on that. Any questions for me?
Yes, sir, thank you very
I
much.
got a question
Oh,
that,
I guess so.
since Eric's not here, he would have asked. You said that the light fixture stuff is on order? Is that what you said? The light fixtures along Jackson?
And
Yes.
gloves.
It's on order?
Yeah, they've ordered them after the last meeting.
When do we think
confirmed.
they'll actually install?
That's why they didn't know for sure the delivery, so I can't answer that.
Okay. All right, thanks.
But we'll keep inquiring about every week because we have to get it done before April. But I want to get it done before then if we can. But
Good enough, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Keith. All right, jumping back to Barnes and Thornburg TIF presentation. Do you want to go now or do you want to wait?
Whenever you want.
Jump right on.
Okay.
Do you have something you needed to display on the screen? No? Okay. Then if you don't mind, just step into the podium and we'll go from there.
Did you bring the packet? Did you bring their books that you read? I can pass those on.
Well, thank you for the invitation to address you this evening. I think it's good every now and then to have kind of a nuts and bolts. Poor Aaron's heard this speech, so
Rhonda's the one.
why don't you do it, Aaron? I'm kidding. No, I wanted to just kind of try to refresh your familiarity with how TIF districts work.
Is your microphone on?
Is it green?
The green button on?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. That's the only way they can hear you on the cameras.
Okay,
so.
yeah. First, let's see, Rhonda handed out copies of our handbook.
And
This,
you send these electronic as well.
yes, and I sent you that, or did I send you the electronic? Okay, so.
You sent it to me and I got it.
Oh, okay, great, yeah. The handbook is updated annually, so it's got all of the new stuff, but there wasn't much stuff relating to TIF in this last session, except indirectly. So I would encourage you to give that booklet a chance. We strived very hard to make it readable by non-lawyers. That was the goal. And so we get a lot of very favorable feedback from people who tell us that they do find it to be readable. So please give it a chance. So the concept of tax increment financing, or TIF, it dates back to the 1960s when local governments needed to find a way to come up with the local share of redevelopment projects that were being awarded funding from the federal government. Started off in California and spread like wildfire across the country over time, and now it's in it's either 49 or 50 states. California pretty much got rid of it for a while anyway. Always trust them to do the wrong thing. So the TIF laws are pretty much universal in the United States. Actually, more than just the United States. It's done in some places in Europe as well. Basically, in Indiana, I'm dating myself because the first TIF project was done in South Bend, Indiana. And I was involved in that. So I was there at the birth, so to speak. It was in just a few places in Indiana. Now it's, I think, in nearly every county in Indiana, not everyone, but nearly everyone. I remember when the town of Cicero first started its own TIF program. A lot of people thought, well, we don't really have much development to, for us to bother with it. But over time, as you know, it's grown into a very significant tool for the town. So I'm glad you took the dive on that. So, okay, what is TIF? Suppose you've got an area in the town that has been there forever, and it has a factory on it. Okay, now let's suppose that factory is paying $100,000 a year in taxes. Let's talk about a little bit about how the tax system works. That company will pay 2 tax payments a year, right? The May, November tax bills. What happens to that money when the taxes are paid? The taxes are paid to the county officials. Basically, they take the money that they receive in taxes and they divide it into a pie chart of recipients. So from that tax payment, the town will get a piece of that. The township will. The school corporation will. The library district. Did I say the county? The county. And some places have special taxing districts, kind of just one-offs. But those are the taxing jurisdictions that will have, that property will be located in, right? Every piece of dirt in Indiana is in some school corporation. On average, the school corporation gets about 40% of the tax distributions. Cities and towns usually run between 10 and 15, maybe a little more, and the township less. But basically, the big chunk is for the schools, and the other taxing units share in the rest. So when these tax payments get made by this factory owner, the county officials will divide that money among those taxing units. Now, let's suppose that in that area of the town where that factory is located, that the redevelopment commission decides to create a TIF district. So let's say you go through the process to do that, which is just a technical exercise involving some meetings of redevelopment, town hall, town council, plan commission. Okay, so the town creates a TIF district that includes this first factory. And then 2 years pass, and then a new factory gets built that also pays $100,000 a year in taxes. Now what happens? What happens then is that when the original factory pays its taxes, their taxes get to be, are divided up just exactly the way they always were. The TIF district doesn't have any bearing on taxes from property that pre-existed the TIF district. But then when the second company pays its taxes, and I'm being a bit overbroad, but I mean the skeleton is accurate. When the second owner pays its property taxes, that does not go to the taxing unit, to the pie chart. Instead, it goes to the redevelopment commission, which then has the power to use those funds to spur economic development and redevelopment in the town. Now, there are lots of, sort of footnotes and grace notes. When the factories pay their taxes, obviously the tax bills relate to the land, to the improvements, and to equipment. But the portion of the Company Two's taxes that go to the redevelopment commission don't include the taxes that are relating to the ground, right? If you have empty land, you pay taxes for that, right? But there's nothing new about it usually. Some places create new land, but not Cicero. So the land doesn't generate TIF, and except in unusual circumstances, the personal property won't generate increment either. It's most of the time is just the real property, and the real property that is tied to assessed value that is new as of since the creation of the TIF district. For example, if you had a property in the TIF district after it's created, but had been there before it was created, and then after the TIF district is created, somebody invests money to expand that facility, then the value of the expansion will be captured as TIF. And so that's kind of TIF in a nutshell. Does that make sense to people? Is that okay? It really is. I mean, if you keep a handle of just that sort of outline, pretty much everything else is just grace notes. There are a lot of those, but you don't know all of those. You don't need to know very many of those. Now, one of the things I like to talk about too is the way the town creates its budget. Every piece of property tax, every piece of taxable property in the town has a value assigned to it. For personal property, equipment, that is self-assessing. That is, the businesses do their own calculations and then report what that value is, and that's what value gets taxed. For real property, every year a value is assigned to a particular property. Now, every 4 years, there is a reassessment where the assessing officials actually go out and inspect every parcel in the town and assign a value to it. You can see that has a lot of, room for like play in the joints, as they say. I mean, how do you have precision in that, right? I mean, and so some assessors around the state are much more aggressive than others, and others are very hands-off. There's also a challenge process where companies can come in and try to beat down the assessors to get a lower assessed value, because of course the assessed value is what the tax is going to be based on. So you have the assessment process. You also then have the budgeting process by the town. The town needs to figure out each year how much money it needs to operate, right? Things like utilities are not financed with property taxes. Those are based on utility bills, but a lot of things obviously are paid for from property taxes, salaries of employees. So that's the biggest chunk. So Rhonda would look at the assessed value, and she would figure out how much money she wants to basically apply for, call it, and then you back into a tax rate. Correct in anything I say. She knows this 1,000 times more than I do. So you have kind of X times Y equals Z, X the assessed value, Z the amount of money you want to raise, and then you back into the Y part of the what do you have to multiply X by to get Z, and that becomes the tax rate. Now, it used to be that once that math was done, that it was pretty much done, keeping in mind that there are strict limits on how much money Rhonda can raise each year. The state sends her a maximum amount of money that she can raise every year, and it's to the penny on how much she can raise. And so you might think that, well, you know, suppose that there's a big project that creates a lot more assessed value. Well, doesn't that mean, it's a big billion-dollar company, doesn't that mean that Rhonda can get more money in the door? So, because you look assessed value times the rate equals the amount of money. But she's not allowed to have a raise except annually. There's some raise, usually there isn't this year, that the state would give, usually never more than 4%. But if she has access to all of this extra assessed value, she can't raise more money than the state's limited her to. Instead, what that does, just mathematically, is it reduces the rate, right? Because you've got a bigger assessed value, same product, and then reduced tax rate. It was, for almost all of the tax history, the case that Rhonda could know that's how much money I'm going to get. And she could plan on that maximum amount. That's changed now, and I'll talk a little bit about how that changed. But anyway, so think of the assessed value times tax rate equals the amount of money that can be raised. Now, when we talk about assessed value, particular property may well be eligible for certain types of deductions, credits against their property tax, credits, deductions, what's the third one? And that sort of thing.
Exemptions?
Exemptions, thank you. And so when a a homeowner goes to, when a calculation is made for purposes of taxes, a homeowner may have a right to a deduction, and then that reduced amount gets added up, and that's what's really is taxed, that reduced amount, and that's called a net assessed value. So we talked about how almost always before she would be able to predict how much money she was going to get very reliably. And then about, I want to say 10 years ago, but it might have been longer, Governor Daniels, Mitch Daniels, brought about a change in the law, which is referred to as tax caps. Now that's a term that gets used a lot, but I don't think it's always very well understood. Here's the way it works. Every piece of taxable property, whether real property or personal property, gets assigned to be in one of three categories, referred to as 1% property, 2% property, or 3% property. Let's talk about what's in each of those categories. 1% property is basically homestead property. What is a homestead? If you own and live in a particular house, that is your homestead. If you own two homes, only the one you live in most of the time is your homestead. The other one that you own is labeled as residential property, regardless of, or a residential rental property, regardless of whether you rent it or not. That's how it gets labeled. So 1% only includes residential, that is your homestead. 2% property is residential rental property, long-term care property, and farmland. That's 2%. 3% property is basically, business, industrial, commercial property. So those are the categories. What does it mean to be in a category? Property that is in the 1% category, that means that when the bill gets calculated in the first instance, which is going to be a combination of Rhonda's rate plus the school's rate, all that, when all of that comes together, if the bill, say on a $100,000 house, if the tax would have been in prior years before tax caps, if the tax would have been $1,500 on a $100,000 value house, what happens? Well, the law limits the amount that the taxpayer, the owner, has to pay, and it limits it to 1%, i.e. the most tax that could be required to be paid is going to be only $1,000. The taxing units had hoped that they could get the full amount that they need, but basically $500 of what would have been a $1,500 bill gets wiped out. Now, it's referred to as a credit, but it's not a credit in the sense that anybody else makes it up. It just, that the loss just gets absorbed by all of the taxing units. And so, you know, Rhonda doesn't know going into it what other taxing units are going to put in for. But it causes potential difficulty in planning and, you know, tax relief for the homeowner, which is, you know, generally desirable. So that's 1% property. 2% property, residential rental, farm land, or long-term care. It has a cap of 2%, which means that if you had a, you know, $100,000 piece of farm property, and the math that's generated would have brought about a $2,500 tax bill, that gets whittled down to 2%, 2,000. So the idea is that those category 2 property gets some break. Business property is 3% property. Their limit is at 3% of their net assessed value. And that's, the idea is that companies can afford to pay more. So I think it's good to kind of have a basic handle on how those tax caps work. Those are the two things that I think, or the things I've said are the things I think that are most helpful in giving you the foundation that can serve you in your understanding of this. So those are really the only prepared comments I have. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, or you probably have other business to do here. So
That's a
Any
good
other
overview.
questions?
Good overview. Thank you very much, Mr. Pittman.
My pleasure.
Anybody questions?
You served as bond counsel for us on our GO bond, right?
yes.
Thank you
Yeah,
for that as
thank
well.
you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Thanks for
appreciate the
showing up.
invite.
Appreciate it.
guys
Thank you
have a
very
good-
much.
Thanks,
good
Tom.
Christmas.
All right. Jumping back on the order, looks like, Dan, do you have anything under special projects? No, okay. Moving along, nothing under old business, new business, Friends of the Park. Mr. Hunter, I assume this is your show?
No,
No?
actually, Friends of the Park last, no, thank you. I don't need one packer. I have extra now. I'm sorry, what?
Do you have one for Eric?
Thank
You're
you,
good.
Tom. Last year's, Friends of the Park asked for a, donation for, just a donation. Town did, $500 out of EDC, and they're asking for that donation again this year, so whatever council decides to do.
I make that motion.
Hold on. What's that money get used for, do you know?
Lots of different things on here.
Oh, they
got,
have it listed, okay.
Yeah, the Red Bridge car show, haunted trail, the trolley, golf cart shuttle, concession area, the haunted trail spooky section.
Kids go fishing.
Kids go fishing. All right, so it's being
Lots of
used for
different
good
things.
causes.
It is
Yeah, to
tree
bring
lighting.
people in.
Yeah, just make sure we tag that to EDC when you make your motion.
Yeah, but we don't need them the EDC to act, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We have a line on
Move to
it.
do what we did last year and take it out of the EDC line item.
A motion.
$500.
Motion, to have a second?
Second, Dennis Johnson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good to go there?
I abstain. I'm a member of Friends of the Park.
Oh, that's right, you are.
So
Okay.
3-0. Thanks, Sam.
3-0.
You're welcome.
Transfer resolution 12-16-2025-01. Has everybody had a chance to look over that document? There's a lot of money moving around.
It is, it's just housekeeping for the end of the year to
Right.
get my, because different things happen throughout the year and we don't appropriate enough money for various reasons. So, we do a transfer at the end of the year and probably do an additional appropriation and possibly another transfer. Just don't know where we're gonna land at the end of the year, but this is our best guess, so appreciate it.
Deal?
I have questions.
Okay?
Insurance,
Yes.
Is that health insurance or liability insurance?
Liability insurance, it went up, I budgeted it to increase $20,000, but in reality, it went up $60,000. So I was
That's
about,
24 compared to 25?
yes.
You
Yes.
say it went up 60,000?
It was a bunch, maybe, yeah, I'll have to check those numbers, but it was a ton of money. And I think I appropriated maybe 10,000, I don't remember exactly, but it went up this much more, so,
Based on,
lots of different claims.
Based on the bill they sent us?
We had a lot of claims.
Yeah.
We're accident prone, but, that's where the numbers
Okay,
land.
well, that's not good.
Nope,
And then my other question was, under Terry's,
water,
there's an engineer money moving. I saw it was the engineer, and then it was
Under
it's
Terry's,
being
we-
debited off of a bond. I just wanted to understand what was happening there.
where?
STM, I thought that was streets.
Oh, stormwater.
Oh, stormwater, sorry, I thought that was streets, sorry.
Yeah, we didn't appropriate any money for engineering, but when, he did the stormwater project, felt it only right to ding stormwater for that, but I didn't have an engineering line, but I will now, and I need money to put in there to cover those expenses.
I don't understand what you just said.
I don't have any money, I don't have a line item for them yet, but we paid, engineering fees for the stormwater project, so I will move money into that line item and make it not negative.
So that resolves 2025.
It does, well, I believe so. We'll find out where we land at December 29th at the last meeting. Pay after
But if we
pay.
needed engineering fees in stormwater in 2026, we still have zero in that.
We did not appropriate any. But that's the first time I've ever had to put any money in there, so.
Okay. I'm not opposed to it, we just need to be more
Certainly.
aware of it probably next time.
Sure.
this past year was a little bit of an unusual
It
year.
was.
I would say so, as far as expenditures go. But you did bring up, a good point came up. Don't forget, everyone, December 29th, 8 a.m., we have our Pay the Bills meeting. Anybody in the audience, it's a public meeting, you're welcome to be there. It'll literally be one motion, 1 second, bunch of yays, and then we go home. So if you want to get up, you're more than welcome to.
It's at 8 o'clock.
Bring breakfast.
All right, so,
I'm done.
any more, okay, if you're done, I'll entertain a motion to approve transfer resolution 12-16-2025-01.
So moved. Emily Pearson.
Second, Dennis Johnson.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now, moving along to salary ordinance 11-18-2025-01. This is an amendment
It
for,
is, because I, for some reason, changed the certifications for fire to 220, thinking it was 225, and it was 250 per certification. And I didn't change the 77 per fund.
okay. So this basically is approving the salary ordinance
That
as
we've
it was
already approved.
presented. It was
Mhm.
already, okay. So we just need to approve the amendment.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions for Rhonda on that? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve salary ordinance amendment 11-18-2025-01.
So moved. Emily Pearson.
Second, Dennis Johnson.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
All right. Moving along to miscellaneous. Unfortunately, he is not here this evening, but I do want to say a heartfelt thank you and provide recognition for Chief Lance Overholser of our fire department, who will be retiring this year. You know, I've only been around 3 years now, but I can't say enough about working with Lance. Lance was instrumental, even when he knew he was retiring, worked closely with the new incoming fire chief, Chris Frazier. He was a professional in every aspect, a wonderful resource, always willing to help. And I just can't thank him enough for his service to the town. So he will be severely missed. We definitely feel good about the person we have coming in. All the credit to the world to Lance with that transition. So Lance, if you're watching, thank you. It's super appreciated. We'll always be in debt to you and enjoy retirement. All right, moving along. Comments by citizens.
Hey,
Mr.
before
Greer.
that, do we have a new police officer. Can we have him introduced?
That's,
This is Pete Sinfield, but he's been here.
Pete's been around a
Oh,
while.
I thought you said, I thought somebody said there was a new officer.
We're a little late, Pete,
There
but
is-
welcome aboard.
His name's Louis, he's not here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tail me out of here.
We have a new, Pete, we have a new council person that we'd like to introduce you to.
My bad.
He was making sure.
Yeah.
But we do have a new officer just started, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Great.
Mr. Green, it's your show. You know the drill. Don't short us tonight, my friend.
Good evening. Yeah, hit the button. Gary Green, I'm on Bayview Drive. My question, do we have a central contact for Comcast, Xfinity, or whatever they're called?
Mr. Strong, Mrs.
Oh,
Gary,
When I call, I'm on hold an hour and a half at the minimum. I
Yeah.
do not.
Yeah,
I do not.
but that's a customer service agent, the first level. Do we have a contact for anything else above that?
I do not.
we don't have a rep for
They gotta have a
business
community.
internet.
I do not.
Relations person
Nobody's
or
ever
something.
given it to me, and when I call for service or change or whatever, I wait. I do get to call the business line, but I'm still on hold an hour and a half every single time. I don't have a rep.
I live on Bayview, which unfortunately is not going to be eligible for Berry. They're not coming down our street or Iron Bridge. They said not enough people to make it worth their trip. What does it take to bring another cable company into Cicero?
Typically, my understanding is it's the cable company that makes that decision. Right now, you might see lines being laid. I believe that's Frontier laying fiber. I don't know what they're.
But it's getting very frustrating.
Yes.
For over 2 months, I've been fighting over on my street. They came in, they did a quote rebuild, and it's been worse. Didn't get to see much TV over the weekend. And like I say, you call and you're on hold forever. I called last week when I was out for a day, and the quickest they could get somebody to me, I mean, this was 2 people telling me, 2 different departments, quickest is December 23rd at 7:00 p.m.
Oh,
So December 23rd, 7 p.m. How about that? But anyway, it's been, everyone, I get a lot of text messages because I'm part of a couple chatter pages, and they, for some reason, don't want to make it public, their feelings and comments, but there's a lot of frustration.
yeah. Yeah, and there's been a lot of frustration on that front for a long time. I don't know, is that even something that we can solicit for them to come? It's always been a situation where they just kind of told us they were going to come and they needed access to the right of ways, and that was kind of it, right?
That's it.
Mr. Green, in the past, I once had to call, we have the Indiana Office of the Utility Consumer Council. It's a state level office. I called them once to make a complaint on behalf of a private client, and within 48 hours, the company that wouldn't return our phone calls called us back.
It was called a what, sir?
The Office of the Utility Consumer Council.
Utilities and
It's part of
Consumer
the,
Council.
Attorney General's, or, the IURC.
Thank
And
you.
so they have regulatory control, and this provider got back to us very quickly once I made that phone call.
It's just getting a little frustrating. I'm old and retired at home now, and I've become a pest to Susan enough, and then bad enough that no TV to watch or internet. It was the greatest today. The excuse I got was, well, sir, turn on your internet. Here's a web page you can pull up and watch TV. And I said, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. I said, ma'am, I have no internet. And she went, oh. I said, and actually I got someone from the U.S. and she was in Alabama. 'Cause the accent kind of gave it away, the South, and so I kind of, and I'm shy. So I talked to her a little bit, and I said, imagine the Bama game was on, they're playing University of Georgia or Georgia Tech. How upset would you be if it just went to quick, pixelization, lock up and stop? She goes, I'd be damn mad. And I said, that's kind of how I feel about the IU game or the Colts game, and I said, it's getting old.
We had that at our,
And she kept saying, I'm sorry.
you had, my husband was able to file for a credit of $6. $6.38. 2 times.
Wow.
And then-
Twice.
Oh,
But you,
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm literally at that point where, you know, I want to go stop a Xfinity guy, but I don't want Jeff coming after me. Thank you.
I've dealt with it myself, the weekly router resets. Fortunately, where I live, Barry did come, and it's been a world of difference. Now, I don't know where Frontier's planning to lay all these lines, but they seem to be doing it in the outskirts to start, right?
They're in a whole lot of areas of town. I don't know of any area that's gonna be neglected, but I need to look and see what it says on the map. I'm pretty sure they're going up Iron Bridge.
I've been told twice not.
Wait, Barry or,
Barry.
no, we're talking about Frontier.
Frontier,
Oh, Frontier goes past my house.
Well,
They're laying new fiber.
Okay.
yeah. I'll call you tomorrow.
The other thing
Where should we get located?
the only other thing I'd say is I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do, obviously specifically for individuals, but I think it's very appropriate that the town have a direct line of communication to people who have infrastructure in our community. So I believe somewhere inside of Comcast, there's gotta be some sort of community affairs liaison. We just need to find that person. So
Thank you.
we can try to do that. Again, we can't solve every problem, but at least we would have somebody to call. So I think we can work on that, try to figure out who that person is.
May I ask one question?
One more thing.
No.
Oh, it's positive. Your online thing is awesome. I've been posting it, you know, telling people, and I don't know how many people's online right now, but I noticed last week when I missed it, at one time there was like 10 online watching. Good job.
Thank you very much. Always appreciate you, Mr. Green.
That's the phone number.
Dennis had something.
Oh.
Dennis, what'd you have?
Not that I'll write down a number he might call.
Okay. All right, anybody else in the audience? All right. Well, being this is our last meeting before Christmas, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Hope the new year is wonderful to everyone. Always appreciate you having you here. So if there's anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be working just as normal. But other than that, if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Dennis Johnson.
Second, Jacob Everett.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all very much.
right.